Have you ever been hurt or in pain and afraid you're the only one? Hi, I'm Katharine and I believe that everybody hurts sometimes. When we think of hurting or pain, initially we think of physical pain, but most of us actually experience emotional pain more often. Human beings, even kids, are really good at hiding our sadness and pain. That means we don't realize that everybody around us is hurting. In fact, in this big church, surely many of us are hurting right now. When we are in pain, sometimes we want to tell people, whether to ask for their guidance or just someone to rant to. Other times, our instinct is to retreat to a private, quiet place and lick our emotional wounds. Pain can occur in many different variations, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Maybe somebody hurt your feelings on the playground. Maybe school feels hard and you fear you're not good enough. Maybe you're having other problems. Whichever scenario it is, we all suffer some emotional pain in our lifetimes. Sometimes we can't tell when people are in pain. They cover it up by putting on a happy face and smiling their way through the day. Recently, my class has had an amazing experience of being very real and vulnerable with each other on our 8th grade retreat. People I admire who seem so happy, talented, and like they have it all together shared their challenges and hurts. I was shocked by the inner lives of my friends and classmates. As people spoke up, I began to realize that everyone has some emotional pain inside of them. Honestly, before that, I often felt like I was the only one hurting. Seeing how my classmates opened up to the whole class and trusted us with their feelings and burdens, I realized that I'm not the only one who has sometimes come to school alone and sad inside. In 4th grade, I had a really challenging year because for the first time in my life, I felt like I didn't fit in. It all started when I wasn't invited to a birthday, and then I began to be left out of activities. The loneliness had a big effect on me. It stayed with me throughout my days at school. I couldn't focus. I was struggling with my studies. It was hard for me to sit down and get work out of the way. I remember talking to my friends, and they were gabbing about an activity that they did together over the weekend, one that I was not invited to. I got a queasy, sick pain in my gut. It hurt. I knew my friends were not trying to hurt my feelings, but I couldn't help feeling the sad, angry rejection of being left out. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want them to pity me, and I didn't think they would understand my loneliness. Before that moment, I myself had wondered how someone could feel so alone when there were so many people surrounding them. Now I know that we can look happy and part of the group even when we are hurting, and so people never know that something feels wrong in our lives. I know I seem like a generally happy and outgoing person, and for the most part I am, but I've had many times when I was hurting on the inside and tried not to show it on the outside. The only person who knew my internal pain that I was feeling was my mom. She understood where I was coming from, and thanks to her, I learned that it helps to tell someone when I'm hurting. Because she knew what was going on, I didn't feel alone. In the lesson that Alex read for us today, Jesus is about to be arrested and is praying in the garden. He is alone. He has no one around him because the disciples have all fallen asleep. This shows us that even Jesus sometimes felt alone and he suffered. To me, this is an important idea in Christianity because God became a person in Jesus. God learned what it's like to suffer. Jesus felt physical pain and emotional fear. The all-powerful, all-knowing creator of the universe knows what it's like to get a paper cut or snubbed over a birthday party. God knows how much we hurt, and so we are never unloved, never uncared for or alone. I don't know about you, but that makes me feel a lot better. But just feeling better for ourselves isn't really good enough. We can go a step further. If we are all feeling pain, we can realize that we are not the only ones. Like what my class saw on our 8th grade retreat. Everyone is hurting. We saw each other's pain, and thanks to everyone's courage and vulnerability, we now look at each other differently. My class has already started to grow and become more compassionate with one another. When we realize that everyone hurts, we become more understanding even to the people who have not yet confided in us, because we remember behind each other's smiles might be pain someone isn't ready to share. I strongly believe that if we go through the day caring for one another and realizing that everyone has some pain inside of them, we will make St. Matthew's an even more safe place than it already is. I also believe God needs us to show love and compassion to others by being supportive members of our families, our classes, our school, and our towns. That's how we show God's love for the world. Thank you.